2 seconds.
Drivers, to your cars.
Newton, Iowa, home of the main places in America where you'll find corn, which is just the American tradition. In 2006, it opened up. This racetrack opened up in the minds of Rusty Wallace. He designed this racetrack to be as competitive as it'll ever be. And nowadays, it plays host to many different series, including NASCAR and IndyCar, with NASCAR's Cup Series coming back here as late as 2024. Welcome to coverage of BPNR D2, where their division begins at halfway points of their short season from Iowa Speedway. It's actually their first short track of the season, so we're kind of get to see how these D2 drivers will handle close quarters, even though it's not exactly a small track. 7/8 of a mile is still enough to where you need to brake. And by doing your braking points wrong, or even just brake trailing wrong, you're bound to hit the wall at some point. Whilst they're qualifying, we will pull up the D2 standings heading into this race. On the top of the charts, it is Alexander Hunt, who takes the lead from Hardy, who is also outpaced by Harry Crawford, two-time winner this season, only 5 points behind Alexander Hunt. Hardy slips back to third after connection issues at the previous week at Homestead. Colin Teague has closed up the gap to this battle as well, now being 46 behind the leader and sitting 4th place. 5th place right now is Pizzazz Wells, 72 points behind. Roman Gonzalez is 6th with 84 points back. Dalton Tubbs 7th, 91 points behind. Parker Nesson 8th, 101 back. Captain Downey 9th, and Buddy Campbell's in 10th. So to begin the second half of the season with within a 9-point difference between the top 3 drivers is actually really good. I actually don't mind that at all. As qualifying has concluded, as drivers make their way for happy hour, we will go over the qualifying order. Top of the chart, Alexander Hunt with a 22.514. Harry Crawford in second place, the top 2 with championship right where they want to be. For P3, it's actually a tie, but the game gives Parker Ness P3 the inside lane, while Hardy will have to settle for 4th on the outside lane. 5th place is Hayden Durger, and Joseph Holley joins them in row 3, sorry. Row 4, I don't think Trey Lake is supposed to be here, but who am I to blame? I might be wrong, I don't know. Joining her will be Colin Teague, who will roll off P8. Roman Gonzalez at 9th and Matthias Wells 10th. William Gregory 11th, Cameron McElreath 12th, Galen Downey 13th, and Cam Smith 14th, who will be the caboose of this 14-car field, or 13 if my assumption about Riley Trawick is correct. So what do you want to look out for here? Well, driving a short track. Honestly, you just gotta get into a good rhythm. If you get in a good rhythm, you are going to pull away from the pack pretty easily. And if you don't do it right, much as like you just saw with Joseph Holley and with Gregory, you're bound to lose some time. So, best way to go about it, hug the inside as much as you can, and just roll off as smooth as you can. And you'll get a good finish out of it, and possibly save tires in the process. With short tracks also comes a lot of track position. Right now, Alexander Hunt is in the best spot because he'll start from pole position. And what I've noticed, the bigger the track, the harder it is to pass, especially when it comes to short tracks or even just 1 mile tracks. You definitely need the track position in order to not get attacked constantly. Now, if you pull away far enough here at Iowa, you could avoid being attacked from behind, especially when you need to fend off for the lead. And that's something Alexander could do, or possibly Harry Crawford as well, if he jumps out ahead of him on the initial start. But that's something we'll have to wait to see when the green flag comes out. Tire strategy is also important. Let me actually check how long the race is supposed to be. Well, that doesn't help me. It's not supposed to be 250 laps, but tires can degrade for quite a while, especially when you're having to use the brakes so much at short tracks. It's not a matter of how much you slow down, but how you actually slow down. So you can't just slam on the brakes and expect it to work. You'll just waste your tires doing that. So smooth braking and even turning the wheel smoothly and not like rigidly, as you'll find with some drivers. If you can avoid both of them, you're definitely going to be a great tire saver around a short track especially. And therefore, you can make less pit stops doing that. Now personally, I think it'll be an easy one-stop race for these drivers, given the race distance of this race is not that long. But it's still something to look out for. Just because you have a 10-lap run to the end doesn't mean you can go all out. You still gotta conserve your tires a little bit if you're in prime position to win. It could be 10 laps, could be 20 laps. Again, I have to wait to figure out what the race distance is because I don't have the information yet. But yeah, a lot of strategy just to win a short track. Really different compared to most ovals and even road courses too. Because unlike, well, both short tracks and road courses need braking. Short tracks are where everyone is confined together, and therefore it's going to be really hard to make passes. While yes, we may see cars spread out, they're going to be a lot closer together compared to what you'll find at the previous two road courses we've been to so far, at Barbagallo and Sonoma Raceway. Harry Crawford won both of those races, and right now he'll start P2. So, in hopes of getting his first short track win of the season, and just his first oval win in general, he'll likely consider trying not just to outpace the field, he'll need to think about his strategy when the race comes around. With that, I have nothing really else to talk about, so I'll turn over to the admins.
Sound resumed.
That is, if they have anything to say at all.
It's actually a good question. For your pit entry, you can choose to enter in 3. It's just, slower to enter the apron on 3. You can just, go that, back off like mid-corner and just, brake and go below the apron. But there might be people behind you. And if you do that, I highly recommend you have a hotkey set to where you could press a button and you could say you're pitting this time. Preferably on the lap, a little way before you actually do pit, so people can be aware. Yeah, that'd be really nice. Yeah, so Riley is racing tonight. This is going to be her first D2 start of the season. She is now eligible for D2 racing. And that's via the rating.
Okay, so with that confirmation, it'll be 14 cars who will hopefully roll off the grid. Which I should presume is just a norm around here then. Yeah, I might say. The opening race at Riki had 30 cars, I believe. Or, I believe it was 34, and all of them were let in just because they wanted to. And that's also including the mixture of D1 bushwhackers. Most races here in D2 don't have any bushwhacking apart from Talladega and Rigi, which they already done the latter.
Also, I'm pretty sure it's white to white, but if you want to be really safe, it's not going to kill you a whole lot to just, you know, go on the yellow to enter the pits. It's right in front of the white, and if you send it in too hard, you might spin anyway.
I guess I'll set these cams up before we roll off.
I do expect this to be a one-stop race of fully green. Definitely a lot shorter than the D1 race, which D1 is 120 laps, but this is 80 tonight.
Right, I think those are good. So to remind people before we get going, the top 3 drivers to look for are the top 3 in the championship. Hayden Crawford, who's currently 2nd in the championship, 5 points behind the leader. If I can find them. I don't think they're on track right now, but P1 is Alexander Hunt, who currently takes the points lead, and Hardy, who I don't think is also... I think they're not on track either. I don't think so. No, they're not. So, they're currently 9 points behind the leader, so...
Alright, it is now race time.
Very tight on points in round 6 of 10 for Division 2. Okay, they're down here. Okay, adjust that.
Alright, well, it says 250, but that's actually great because that means we have more overtime laps. It ends at 80. Don't worry, y'all. Don't worry, y'all.
Okay, so it's 80 laps. So that's an easy one stop. It's just a matter of how well you save those tires. The common strategy is just to pit at halfway and hope that there isn't a
I
caution.
think waiting on Tala, but he already left, so I'm not sure.
I think he's waiting to...
Anyways.
Oh, I can't even drive anyway.
80 laps at halfway is at the end of 40. There's no caution for it. Top 5 get points. Have fun. I don't know why I glitched it like that, but I'm not mad. There's no issue.
For 14 cars roll off the grid. I don't know why my thing's lagging a bit, but oh well. Runoff for pace cars in, and the green flag displays immediately we are racing from Iowa Speedway. No incidents so far. Here leaders still side by side and they're dead. They're dead. 2 cars in the back, that being... Oh, they're
That's gonna
back
be
into
a restart.
traffic.
Alright. Get your funnies out while you can.
Yeah, by your P4 the championship, you need to regain the deficit
Yeah,
that you
like
lost.
every redo, just a good time to remind you guys, be mindful of the people in front of you. When they do brake, when they do let off. I know if they brake too much in the corner, you might, try to avoid and brake too much, and you'll spin. That's it is how it is. But just be as careful as you possibly can, and we'll be all right. The next redo, if we do have one, will be if like half the field wrecks. So
Drivers, to your cars.
Yep, that was race admin, Landon Lyle making a great point. I did mention how track position is very important here. And just because you don't have good track position, like I'd say like row 3 on bad doesn't really have that much of a good track position. Maybe row 3 is like a gray area. They'll have to benefit from the long run, but regardless, just because you don't have track position doesn't mean you have to go desperate right off the bat. You can still make good use of it out of the 80 laps that you're given, plus overtime if needed.
Drivers, start your engine!
again, y'all just be
Reset this one
careful.
too.
We got 80 laps. It'll actually go by pretty quickly if we go fully green, but just be careful, y'all. I know y'all did a lot of long run and short run stuff, so I think we got this.
Cars roll off once more. And we've used up our resets already, so next incident they cause, whether it be on the first lap or not, is a caution. But for now, the green flag waves. We'll try this again. Okay, my free cam's like really
You know what?
laggy. I do apologize.
That was before Alliance, so I'm just gonna do a redo for that. Honestly.
Brother.
That was lag. That was a lag moment for the 5.
That dude's a third time. And I'm gonna move my camera again, because I'm just lagging for some reason.
Drivers,
That
to your cars.
what happened there was that Matt in the 20 he lagged and then wrecked the 5 because he just ran into him. It held the gear. Okay, for real this time. Yeah, but it was before the line, so I'm gonna let it pass.
Third time's a charm. Hopefully.
I hate how you have to wait the whole entirety.
Drivers, start your engines!
Okay, can they at least get the first lap complete without incidents? At this rate, I highly doubt it. A little slow for Cam Smith, but fires back up. Pace car is in. Alexander Hunter, Harry Crawford on the front row. The top 2 in the championship will lead the field to green. And come on, man.
You guys won't believe it. That's gonna be a restart. You blew another gear? Okay, at that point, I don't even know if that's NR doing that, because that's like the third one you've blown in like 3 starts, 4 starts. Yeah, I think you're revving it up too much, Hardy.
These goobers or something else.
I'm honestly impressed that we've been able to do that. Honestly,
Also, I'm be real, I might have to lower my graphics a bit
that's so true.
just to make things a bit easier. No. I think this is fine.
That's it for
It's just something to freak
anything
in
further is
whenever I
genuinely
use
just a
it.
caution. This is peak D2.
I'm still lagging. I think it's just the track itself. I don't know what else I can do about it.
Drivers, start your engines.
Alrighty. 80 laps and we haven't actually got going. This is the fourth start attempt. For those who joined late, you're not actually missing a damn thing. Because these goobers keep wrecking. For the love of God, can we actually get a green flag lap in? I'll just leave right here. It's just lagging in. Alexander Hunt from pole clears Harry Crawford. Parker then slots into third place. Hardy trying to clear for fourth. And we actually got green flag lapping. Congratulations. Y'all did the bare minimum. And here goes Parker, that's for second.
Okay, race is official.
Finally.
Just remember, guys, it is 80 laps and it's 40-40. End of 40 is the half, top 5 get points, no yellow, yada yada.
Parkiness grazes the wall a little bit, but able to keep P2 he acquired from Kerry Crawford. Bad for beat by Riley Trawick, her first D2 start of the season. And is able to get into the top 5, taking spot away from Hayden Derricker. And we got spin, that being William Gregory in the 72 Dodge up against the outside wall, but looks to be a single car incident.
2 separate in 1, no caution.
Oh, aircraft are really loose. Is able to catch it, but he's gonna lose some positions and gets squeezed up 3 by the 51, turns up into the 39 and comes back down front traffic in front of Cameron McGillies.
Caution's out, race it back to the line.
That'll be our
the 73 still racing it back here.
first caution of the day. Lear's still racing it back. They have cleared up the track. Parker is gonna try something on the outside. Can't try to cross over actually. Oh, I don't think there's enough time. No, there is not. 73 wins the race back.
Alright, under caution. Pace speed at 40. Actually, no, let's do 50. Sorry. Let's do 50. Pits will not be open this time. Repeat, pits will not be open this time. Pace speed is at 50.
Yeah, it might be real. These cameras suck. I do apologize.
Hunt, let's go to 50.
So first caution of the day involving Harry Crawford, the driver in P2 and the championship, not what he needed to start his day. And while pit road is closed, let's take a look. So at first, it was at turn 1. He needed to catch the car and was able to do so. but the 51 and the 39 were still side by side. Maybe the spotter on the 51 wasn't told that there was a second car to the outside of him.
Pits will be open this time.
Don't know for sure. That's right on board with the 51 car of Colin Teague.
Again, pits are open. You don't need to go to 38 though, Alex. I'm just being honest.
I don't think you saw the mirror, but probably not the best driver to ride on board with. How about Roman Gonzalez in the 02, directly behind him? Roman Gonzalez able to recognize the situation and avoids the collision pretty easily. Try one more before they have to pit. It's being Hayden Derricker. Yeah, there's not much Hayden could have done there. He was squeezed up free ride by Teague and just collected an instant victim of Gabe Crawford, who was already having his own problems. Yeah, I think I did miss the pit stops.
Yeah, 72 to the back for speeding.
Nope.
I'm gonna give a warning to the 510 for that incident.
Oh, 51, 510. I'm just reading what's on the door at this
Teague
point.
is the 510, aka the 51.
Set this up for later.
Going green this time by quiet zone. Make sure you're not typing the text chat so the leader can type green in the control zone. When I say control, he can go, and if you exceed 5 miles per hour to where he says green on restart, then you might be jumping, but we'll see. Control.
Alexander Hunt controls the restart, and we are back green. 10 laps complete, 70 more to go. Oh, Colin Teague, after causing the first caution today, he's already on the still tucked in behind the 73's bumper, trying to make a move on him. He's gonna try to swing it up outside. I was gonna say that didn't produce much of a run, but the 73 smacks the wall a little bit. Behind them, looks like Parker Ness is gonna try to look for P3 underneath Cam Smith. The 7 car washes wide, but the 18 also hits the apron at the same time. There is calamity behind it involving Brian Charlick, and around goes the field. For P3, they somehow saved it.
I don't know how we just saved that.
But that promotes Karen McElry to P3 somehow. He's the most beneficiary of all
I'm
this.
just gonna say be careful and don't do that again.
The 18 and the 7 still aren't done, but the 7 of Cam Smith finally concedes. But it is the short track racing we've been looking forward to. And that the two people to benefit from this is definitely the 51 and Colin Teague, who just took the lead away from Alexander Hunt. I like missing overtakes for the lead, don't I? Travel back to P3, where McElry's time was like running dry as he got to defend 3 cars at once. In the picture as well is Harry Crawford, who got involved in that first wreck but is able to recover back to P7 so far. Side by side P4, Riley Tralick trying to overtake Roman Gonzalez on the outside lane. Not clear just yet, Roman. Tralick slots in. Roman gets to live another day. Parker Ness a little slow out of turn 4. Harry Crawford tried to make a move, but didn't have the speed to do it. Maybe he'll get a better chance off turn 2 here. Enters a little lower than he should. But it did intimidate the 18 car and Harry Crawford up to P6. Now the 18 is just falling like a rock. Trying to see every battle possible, but going to keep track of so much. Right now, as Colin Seagus opened up a 3/10 of a lead, closer to 4/10 over Alexander Hunt. Roman Gonzalez now up to P3, overtaking Cameron McElreath. And that's Cam Smith on pit road. Must have had an issue. For P4, Riley Tralick hits the apron and pushes the 5 up into the backstretch wall. That position is definitely settled, but I don't think McElreath will be happy about that one. Everyone has now strung out, at least forming into their own groups. So with the top 2 gone, if you're P3 through 6 within this group here, do y'all temporarily make an alliance to catch up to the top 2? 4 cars overpowering 2 is definitely worth considering. But that's just me though. For position, being for P7, Hardy against Parker Ness, and Hayden Derricker looks to join this battle. As Hardy clears, that 39 fills its place on the inside lane. And Joseph Holy in the 0 looking to do just the same thing. So unlike third through 6 at first, the second group I should say, these guys are looking to still decide who should be the better car to lead them to catch them. To catch this group. Teague is not pulling away too much. As Tralick looking a little impatient, as she is probably thinking she's better off leading this group, as now they're about to split into 2 separate groups of their own. The battle for 3rd and a battle for 5th. No DNF so far. We only have Cam Smith at pit road. Currently 6 laps down and still losing laps. 10 laps away from stage points, where the top 5 get stage points. Winner gets 15, second place gets 12, third gets 9, fourth gets 6, and fifth gets 3. And because the next race for them is at Talladega, where not only is it super speedway, but D1 drivers are indeed allowed to pushback. You want to build up as much of the points cushion as big as you can out of this race. And again, it's a play track, so you want to have the best advantage in the event you have an accident.
Just letting you guys know, it is lap 32 of 40 and a half, and end of 40 is the halfway, where top 5 do receive points.
You want to build up a cushion in the event of an accident, which is common to have at Talladega, as there's a battle for P3, but also because the D1 drivers are going to steal points away if they finish pretty well. Yeah, it looks like Colin Teague's drivers are running a bit worn, as Alexander Hunt has closed the gap. Points leader looking to extend his lead, with just one more overtake, he'll do just that. At the same time, Harry Crawford is trying to at least get some stage points, because you'd rather lose 12 points compared to just, or you want to lose only 12 points compared to the 15 if Hunt were able to overtake. Of Matthias Wells will warp. Not currently in high volume traffic, you got this pack, but nothing very much to it, as Joseph Foley makes a pass for P8. As I saw smoke, I don't know who that belonged to. I've been Parker? I don't know. Nope, I believe that's Cam Smith, who becomes our first retirement of the race. With just 3 more laps, can Alexander Hunt make the move on Colin Teague to win the stage? Colin Teague doing just what
Leader is
he needs to
approaching 2
do.
to go at the half, at the line.
Just hugging the yellow line, that is the preferred line around Iowa.
1 car, turn 4.
I didn't see who it was. I believe it was a 72 again. As there's the exchange for P5 here, Crawford along the outside lane. Looking to clear him out of turn 4. Gets the wall,
Leader's
but
taking the
is
white for the half.
able to get P5 from Kieran McElreath. Does Alexander Hunt have anything for Colin Teague? Nope. I don't think Colin Teague will slip up either. 51 of Colin Teague wins the stage.
And leader is taking the halfway. Halfway is Colin Teague, Alexander Hunt, Riley Trewick, Roman Gonzalez, and Harry Crawford.
So at the stands, I believe, I know there's a 9-point difference between 2nd and 5th in terms of stage points, but I may have forgot how many points the pole sitter gets, because Alexander Hunt's won pole position for this race. They're still due a pit stop, as we are over halfway, but the caution was still too early for them to make it on this one stop. Excuse me. So at best, perhaps you may want to stretch it, but that's just a whole different strategy at that point. You either pit now and gain back the time and hoping that there isn't a caution, or you run it long and take only a splash, or maybe even 2 tires if you have the time for it. It's just a matter of how much time do you have. If you can make back the time, then it's definitely worth the 4 tires. As the battle for the lead rages on, Alexander Hunt is riled up and is looking to overtake Conte, but look who's coming up behind them too. That is Riley Trewick. She was with the pack earlier with the battle for what was 3rd place, and now has gained back the 3-second deficit between them and the leaders. Alexander Hunt finds the inside lane on Colden Teague. Not clear just yet. Side by side down the backstretch into turn 3. And we get some pitters already, that being the 0 of Joseph Foley at the line. Alexander Hunt leads the lap, and here comes Riley Trewick, who stuffed their nose into the inside and just barely clears Colin Teague into the back straightaway. And interestingly, both P2 and P3 make their way down pit road. Alexander Hunt stays out, Roman Gonzalez in pit road. We saw Joseph Foley in and is just now exiting. Harry Crawford, William Gregory, and from the lead is Alexander Hunt, pitting 1 lap later than them. Roman exits. Riley maintains 2nd place for the time being. And Harry Crawford exits just behind them. Galbraith, Wells, Derringer, and Alexander Hunt all down pit road this time. And go through the lead goes Riley Trewick. After gaining the 3-second deficit, she now leads at Iowa Speedway with 30 laps to go. And around goes Roman Gonzalez.
1 car, turn 2.
Able to point in the correct direction, we stay green. And I've mistaken myself. Riley Trewick is in the provisional lead. Currently, there are 3 cars yet to pit, that being Hardy in the 03, Gatlin Downey, who is just behind him, and Parker Ness, who, if he were the leader, that being, he just let the 17 go by to unlap herself. But right for the time being, the 17 is in the provisional lead of those on the 4 tire strategy, and currently is the lucky dog. And lap cars in the mix between these two at very minimum. So while Coltic is gonna try to reel in Riley Triwick, the concern is up here. Is Gatlin down and Hardy, who's 2-1, and there's another spin, that being Joseph Holy, but Yuri gets it pointed the correct direction and is back up to speed. He was one of the first drivers to pit. So any advantage he could have gotten is now all for naught. And judging from the map, yep, Parker Ness is on pit road, lap 57. Well, it is a third option. That's generally an option I didn't like going personally. Because that would tell me if I were on the strategy that I wasn't committed to either strategy. Like, you either commit to pitting at halfway or close to halfway because there's already yellow, or you commit to going far and pitting for a splash or even not pitting at all. 18 at Parkerness kind of failed to do that. And he's gonna lose a lot of time because he was out there for so long. Even a 10 lap difference can make a huge time deficit. This battle goes on for P5 between Harry Crawford and Alexander Hans, the 2 points leaders.
I've given the 20 a lap plus because I do believe he lagged across the line of the pits. If I am mistaken, then I will remove it.
Well, unfortunately I can't check that.
Okay, yeah, I'm mistaken.
Yep. So a bit of a scoring error going on, but should be patched up soon. Colin Teague has closed up the gap, now on the rear bumper of Riley Triwick. As Hardy, we just saw there in the bottom picture, deciding to pit, and now the 51 has taken the provisional lead from Riley Triwick, as the two of them have just unlapped themselves as Gatlin Downey has inherited the lead, but he is also coming down pit road this time. So let's see what Hardy does. He's on the right sides. And I believe he just only took right sides. I don't know if that's a server or what, but I believe he just took 2. Here comes Gatlin Downey. Does he take 2 tires as well, or is he going with 4? Trying to see what other battles are happening. Nothing really happening. But these two are still at it. We'll check it in a moment. And it's also 2 tires for Gatlin Downey. So it seemed like none of the 3 drivers I was mentioning who were going along were they really committed to going along. They're just... The problem is like, if you pit too late, you're not going to have enough time to gain back the lost time. Hardy and Downey both have a 20 lap difference on tires compared to most of the field, including the leaders. But I don't think they'll have enough time to regain the 10-second deficit unless they really want to burn up their stuff. And even with just 2 tires, I'm unsure if there's enough time for them, for either of them. Guess my best bet is for Hardy to be the representative of this strategy. He is in P6, 9.2 seconds behind the leader. Gatlin Downey, on the other hand, is 21.5 seconds behind, close to going a lap down. Probably due to a slow pit stop. In the meantime, Joseph Holy goes one lap down, currently in lucky dog position. In the event we have a late race yellow. It is Colin Teague leading with Riley Trawick in prime position. Alexander Hunt in third place, 1.3 seconds behind. He'll have to negotiate the lap car in order to have a swing at the top two. Gatlin Downey, the next lap car ahead of the leaders. Remember, he's on 2 tires. With 10 laps to go, you want to be clear of them as soon as you can. The next lap car ahead of...
Leader is taking 10 to go. Coming to the line will be 9 for Teague.
Next lap car ahead of them, it will be Hayden Duriger, who, as they cross the start finish line, he's at turn 2. So plenty of time to breathe a little bit, and perhaps not even lap him at all. That is, if Teague were to pull enough of a lead to calm down in the final lap or two. At the moment, I don't think he can calm down. Riley Trawick trying to get by the lap car of Gatlin Downey. But Downey is, despite having a mesh strategy call, he's not laying them up so easily. And that allowed Alexander Hunt to join the fray, as now he is under a second of Colin Teague, but more importantly, now on the rear bumper of Riley Trawick.
Leader is taking 5 to go.
5 more laps. Riley Trawick is brushing the wall on the front stretch. Here comes the points leader, Alexander Hunt. He'll clear Trawick, but Trawick is trying to make a crossover. We'll try to use the chrome horn, but slides up a bit too far. Alexander Hunt is up to P2. He has 4 more laps to...
4 to go.
4 more laps to catch and overtake Colin Teague for the race win. Hard leg into the outside wall for the 17. I believe her tires are done for. It was the 51 and 73. I'm gonna just, if I can find my mouse, mute TeamSpeak.
Sound muted.
It was the 51 and 73 for the stage. It'll be these two again for the race win. Let's see. Oh, Hunt was 1/10 quicker that time. That matters at a short track. It's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to overtake. Out of turn 4, Colin Teague will see the white flag. One more time around from Iowa. Alexander Hunt beats his nose. Around goes the 51 and hard hit into turn 1. looked like a bit of a racing incident, but we'll go through replay. But out of turn 4, Alexander Hunt, with that the cleanest move you'll see at a short track, he'll win at Iowa Speedway. And drivers showing their displeasure with that move on Colin Teague. Fumes are high. It looks like 73 won't get to celebrate. Or maybe. It's still running somehow. So, that was a finish of all time. Honestly, one of the best ones I've seen from this division. Even if it's a little dirty. I don't think there's a good camera angle, but let's look back at the final lap. The Alexander Hunt has his nose underneath. What did just dove the corner a bit too much and just slam, just bumps the 7 or 51 out of the way. In my opinion, it's just a bit unnecessary considering he had his nose underneath. Let's see with car chase. Yeah, you can't just. A little unnecessary with that dive bomb. Here he's like. Here he's kind of already established himself as peeking to the inside. He can arc it in more and get the yellow line, but drove it in a bit too hard and ultimately had him wash up into the 51.
Sound resumed.
I don't think he got to, yeah, he didn't get to do burnout, but I can't blame the drivers for taking hands into their own, taking matters into their own hands post-race. A couple more seconds. Fastest lap does go to Alexander Hunt and Colin Teague P2. They were the two fastest cars all day, but actually P2's in a tie with Harry Crawford. Riley P4 in this chart. Final race results. Alexander Hunt sweeps away with the win at Iowa Speedway. Riley Trevick in P2 and a strong run towards the second half of the race, but her tires ultimately couldn't hold up to maintaining the pace between the 73 and the 51. Harry Crawford in third. Pretty good oval race for him. Colin Teague just so close to winning and then gets bumped out of the way at turn 1 on the final lap. Was able to recover to get fourth at least. Karen McGalry in P5. Hardy in P6. Hayden Derricker 7th. Gatlin Downey 8th. Joseph Holy 9th. And Matthias Wells in 10th. Parker Ness 11th. Roman Gonzalez 12th. William Gregory 13th. And Cam Smith with a DNF early into the race is the only DNF and will be scored 14th. Yeah, no one's in the waiting room, so what do? I suppose we could close it off. Hopefully, no one joins in. Bills and thrills at Iowa. Bad end of the stick for Colin Teague. But it is Alexander Hunt's back-to-back. He won at Homestead, but that fight got privated. I might put up for the public again. I don't know yet. I have to look through it first. It is Alexander Hunt who wins at Iowa Speedway. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week when is a D1 D2 collaboration, I guess, at Talladega Super Speedway, the biggest, baddest speedway on the planet. But until then, we'll see you next week.